Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Simply Investing. I will do one later on taxes. Became a little bit more in depth than I thought it was going to be. So I think I'm probably going to have to dedicate a good 30, 45 minutes to making that video. So I will have that video about taxes and how to prepare for them for retirement. Right now, I want to talk about China. Let me give a brief update on my status with my Robinhood app. So last month was hectic. I was only up like 1%. So, but as a whole, from the time I started in March with a total deposits of $260 or $280, I believe, I have made about $520. So my portfolio is right around $750, which was pretty good. So, I mean, I did what I wanted to do, and I think you can make money from that account. So, but I have a new investment strategy that I'm going to be starting soon. So I'm going to make another account, see how that works. What I want to discuss about China is, for a long time, people have been discussing China, the emerging markets, and China has been steadily growing, steadily making money, and moving forward. But what I noticed is that they kept saying they had 10% growth levels in their economy consistently, forever. Ever since they just started saying, okay, well, we need to report numbers, they've been reporting steady growth for 10 years. That just seems kind of odd, especially when they have new apartment and condo high rises that are empty. And what people don't understand is it's not communism, it's totalitarianism. Because communism works a little differently in that they allocate people to their best abilities to ensure that the society is right. It's not like, okay, well, we need bricklayers, so all of you are going to be bricklayers today. It's like, no, a true communism is, oh, you're good at quantum physics, you will be at quantum physics. You're good at mechanics, you'll be a mechanic. You're good at agriculture, you will be in agriculture. And you're good at stuff that you like, and people will gravitate towards where they want to go. That's true communism. It's not appointing someone, it's people doing what they would naturally do. Because, like, let's be honest, like, an astrophysicist and a quantum, or someone who dabbles in quantum mechanics isn't going to make a lot of money unless if they crack a new theory or do something absolutely revolutionary. Like an astrophysicist, they're not going to be making as much as someone who's in business, who's a who's a trader on Wall Street, because the only way they're going to make a lot of money is if they're the first to find a true signal from outer space that confirms that intelligent life, and not only life, but intelligent life exists out there. Then they'll make a lot of money in capitalism. Communism reroutes that and says, okay, well, you like agriculture, you like growing things, and why don't you go grow farms and do whatever you want, but just grow stuff? And they're like, okay, and they'll produce the food for it, because there are people who like to garden and like to grow stuff, and that's what they'll do, and they'll be happy doing that. And then other people will go, and that's true communism, and that's true communism. But China is a totalitarian country. Do what I say, and what I say is law. That's not communism. That's totalitarianism. Anyway, China will release reports saying they're growing, but half of the apartment buildings are empty. So China did what most countries do. They were propping up businesses left and right, and they were getting foreign investors. And I don't know why people were investing tons of money. And then I know it's going to come out that, wait, China's been faking all these numbers. I can tell you China's been faking the numbers. And it's going to come out, and people are going to be like, oh, we never knew, we thought. It's like, first off, the Chinese hate everybody else, especially white people, and they're taking your money and invest. And there's several videos on YouTube about people, about investment frauds in China, and China's not doing anything about it. Do you really think those people will help white people get their money back. No, their whole scheme is we're gonna destroy white people. I mean, people don't want to talk about it, but Chinese people hate. They absolutely hate Europeans and Americans, especially white Europeans and Americans. They still hate all the other ethnicities out there, but they hate them the most. And their goal, I wouldn't be surprised if people find out that their sole goal is to gut out the economy, which it seems to be working. I mean, reporting years of false information, reporting, a lot of currency inflation, buying national debt. They did a lot of stuff, and sorry, just had breakfast and it seems to be clogging my throat. But they seem to be making every effort to undermine everyone else's economy. And they seem to have made an investment fraud. Why? One, they want to make sure their people look good, which Russia did. Two, they want to show that they have technological capability and that they're on par with everyone else. Three, it's a do what I say or die kind of mentality in that country. So it's no one can be wealthy, but we're going to take everyone else's money, so that way our country is wealthy. And they do have millionaires and billionaires popping up, but they didn't let it grow organically. They're kind of forced its hand. So I wouldn't be surprised if China collapses in the next few years. I mean, I just don't see that sustained growth happening. And everyone knows the growth curve. Anyone who's took business courses in college knows that you have a growth curve. You start off at the bottom, you slowly increase, you have rapid growth, then you cap, and then you start to stagnate and go down. Well, same thing happens with countries' economies. China's been saying it's been doing 10%, so 10% is like going like this on an economic scale. Most economies grow like 1% a year, which is fine. Even 0.5% is still fine. But to say that you've been growing 10% for the last 20 years is just kind of hard. And, it's like, let's just take a look at their work conditions. I mean, where do you work? I mean, even in the worst times in U.S. history, they didn't have to put up suicide nets. I mean, that's just insane. You gotta have suicide nets? Not just at the factories, but at malls, in your high-rise, because you don't want people to die. It's like, good Lord. If you don't want people to die, you gotta pay them more. You gotta give them a better sense of life. And, it's just, that's just the way China is. It's like, but I do have a feeling China is just going to, it's starting to implode. It's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So if anyone's got investments in China, in Chinese companies that went public on the U.S. markets or anything like that, or are investing in China, which is the largest emerging market, I would withdraw those investments for now. I would withdraw your money, put it someplace else. Even wealthy Chinese people are taking their money and starting to diversify in foreign holdings and investment possibilities. So they know what they have to do. And if they're doing it, if they don't have faith in their government, then you definitely should not have faith in their government. That's just horrible. And then they talk about they do need to raise their wages, just like in the U.S. You need to raise wages and boost the economy. And that's like another topic I want to talk about too, because this whole minimum wage growth, this minimum wage debate. First off, minimum wage was an issue 6, 7 years ago, right? Like, I would say, like, what, early 2000s, no one talked about the minimum wage, right? All of a sudden, we had the financial crisis. Lots of people lost their jobs. Then what happened? To supplement their income, they had to go start working again. But there wasn't $80,000. There wasn't those jobs for those people in their fields that they worked, that they studied and became experts at. So you had to go work a minimum wage job. And quickly, a lot of people realized, holy shit, I don't know how anyone survives off this. Now they want a minimum wage increase. So, and that's the problem with American society. No one wants to do anything about it until they fucking experience it. It's just like, I don't want the government to pay for my health care until they get cancer. And they're like, I don't want to go bankrupt. Like, well, then again, only in the U.S. are you entitled to liberty, your First Amendment rights, liberty and the pursuit of happiness, and you got to pay for your health, which is part of your happiness. And you got to pay exuberant costs. I mean, I see people with tumors that could have been removed, but it's going to cost them $20,000 to remove it. No, they just live with it because it's going to bankrupt them. And that's unfortunate because your good health is part of your First Amendment rights, and you shouldn't have to pay to live. You really shouldn't. I mean, if you want a nice car, that's different. But you shouldn't have to say, oh, I got cancer, I want to live. But I can't afford the treatment, so I guess I'm going to die. Well, that fucking sucks. Doesn't that fucking suck? Anyway, with this whole minimum wage debate, first off, people say, like, well, I got to work $100,000 if they raise minimum wage to $15 an hour. No, you will not. If you think that, you're an absolute idiot. First off, in order for that to happen, they have to create more money. They have to print more money, which they will never do because that would rapidly create a rapid sense of inflation, and our economy is already having trouble, and we would just explode. What would happen is, with the wage increase, of course, tax revenue would increase because more people make more money, therefore they pay more taxes. So now people have more money to spend, so other industries would spend more. So let's just say apartment complexes, more people would be paying on time, so they would receive more money rather than evicting people because they can't afford it, which someone who's making $1,000 a month is most likely getting evicted every 6 months and moving on to another apartment because they can't afford to live. Then welfare, food stamps, Medicaid will all go down because people will be able to afford health care and general checkups. They'll get better health insurance. They'll start be able to save. Holiday shopping will increase. School shopping would increase because someone who's now making $1,400 biweekly instead of $500 biweekly now has a little bit of discretionary income to go out on Black Friday and buy a $200 TV or buy notebooks, pads, books, and utensils, and all that fun stuff for their children to go to school. All of a sudden, these people who are being dogged by society, who have to take welfare because their company will not pay them enough, and I don't think people understand. When someone's making minimum wage, they're not making a lot of money. Even at $7.50, what does that come out to? It's like, and people think, like, well, you're working 45 hours a week. No, they're working 29. Just enough, but not enough to be full time. So they don't have to pay any insurance and benefits and stuff like that. And then, of course, that's only $300 a week. So they have to go and get food stamps. They have to go because, I mean, you live in an area where it's going to take 3 weeks to get rent. And then you're going to have $300 left, if that, maybe $250 after, you deduct the taxes, to buy food and groceries to last. Now, I look at average families, but even my, but I try to reduce it all the time, and I'm only buying fruit, pasta, and meat, and rice. I'm still averaging about $100 a month. So that's just me, single, by myself. So I can only imagine what it is with a family of 4. You got 2 adults and 2 kids. Shoot, $2.50 might be a week's worth of food because the adults are working and you get hungry. As you know, when you're working long hours, you get hungry, so you want to eat more, but then you don't want to eat more because you don't have enough money. Only in America can you work 2 jobs, not be able to afford stuff, have to take welfare, and get dogged for taking welfare. Like, you're lazy. It's like, no, it's just simple economics. There's only so many hours in a day you can work, and if you're only skilled enough to make minimum wage, then, if you're only skilled enough to make minimum wage, then there's nothing you can do. And then, of course, people say, well, they should work harder and train for better tasks. Well, that costs $25,000 a year. Someone who's making minimum wage does not have $25,000 a year. And they will not be able to get student loans. Why? Because they probably have so many evictions on there that no one's going to want to lend them money. So they're kind of stuck in a catch-22. They need to get a better job. They need a skill. And they understand that they need to get those skills. They need to get a degree or go to a technical institute to get a better job, but they can't because no one will lend them money because, 1, they live in a bad area, 2, most of them are minorities, and 3, lending companies don't even care. They want minorities to be there. Believe it or not, white people want minorities to be there. The only reason why we have more white people saying raise minimum wage is because all of a sudden a good amount of white people that didn't give a shit about this half of the society started giving a shit. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, right now, this whole world is crazy. Right now, I honestly don't have much advice as far as investing. I'm just going to cap it off. I'm going to do another video on minimum wage. That I will do. But as far as I can say with investing, pull your stuff out of China. Just pull it out. My stock picks for today, energy. Go back to the basics. Energy, manufacturing. I'm telling you, I don't know what's not going to happen immediately. But if you're investing in 30 years, and you're 20 and you're investing now, you got 40 years. Manufacturing is coming back to America. It's going to come back, or we're going to die. Our country's going to die. It's got to happen. Just from an economic standpoint, it's got to happen. I know people say all types of stuff, but it's got to happen. It's just got to happen here. And it will. Trust me on that. It will. That said, good luck, guys. Have fun investing. Stay conscious. Respect the process. Like my Facebook page. I know this one kind of came out as a rant, but like the video. Subscribe. Follow more. I promise my next one won't be a rant. It'll just be an actual, especially the one about taxes, will actually be a real, almost like a lecture for you guys. So, and I'll do another video about minimum wage and how that truly affects the economy. Good day, good luck, stay focused, don't get emotional about losses because that's how you really will make losses. Peace out, good luck.